Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Coffee with Pam podcast YouTube channel. I'm your host, Pamela Cross, and today I'm so excited. I just wanted to do something a little bit different than what I usually do. Rather than just sharing a story or words of encouragement, I wanted to share something that's actually been helpful for me, and that I hope that encourages you to maybe take a step of faith or a leap of faith and just be in there for someone, whether it's in your community, in your church family, in your family, at work, but just being there for someone who has maybe lost someone close to them. Whether it's this year that they're grieving the holidays and the first anniversaries and the first birthdays and things like that, or whether it's somebody who has passed a long time ago. Most each of us have somebody that we know who is grieving. And this episode, I really hope to bring some ideas that maybe you're wondering, like, what can I gift somebody? What can I give to somebody who's walking through a season of grief, who maybe it's their first Christmas, maybe it's their first holidays, their, first times of those anniversaries and things like that. But even if it's not, these are just beautiful ideas, beautiful things that I do believe can help someone who's going through grief or is going through sorrow. When we look around, most of us know someone, whether it's in our community, at work, in our friendships, in our family, that has known somebody or has walked through grief, or maybe they're walking through grief this year for the first time. And, just a big part of walking through grief is just wanting to know that person's life mattered, that those memories are a treasure and to be cherished. If you have lost a loved one or are grieving, I just want you to know that you are not alone and that I'm right here. I'm right beside you, and I'm going to be praying for you. And I really do hope that this just encourages whoever is needed, whoever needs to hear these words, whether it's the one who is giving the gift or the one who is receiving the gift. We all go through hard times in our lives. We all go through trials. And I would say one of the biggest trials, besides like a medical diagnosis, is losing somebody that's so dear to you, whether it's your neighbor or an aunt, an uncle, a coworker, a spouse, a child. And those moments can be so hard, and it isn't something that just stops. Like, you carry that for a lifetime. But I'm here to tell you that grief and loss, like, it does get easier. It doesn't mean it goes away, and I think it's not meant to go away because they're memories. Those are a treasure. The things we hold on to and remember about them, like, those are meaningful, and those are, there for a reason. And I wouldn't want that to go away. And, though grief isn't, easy, and it's not the same for everybody, there are similar things. And the holidays, they can be hard. And I actually just walked through this with Thanksgiving. Our youngest son, who is 2 years old, that was 6 years to the date when we were in the ER and had found out that he had a mass. And so though Thanksgiving was going on and we had friends and family here, my emotions were getting just the better of me. And over again, I had to, just step away and walk away, and I had to grieve, and it was hard. and, but God is so good, and He's so faithful. And yes, I do believe grieving is okay. It's okay to have those moments. And sometimes they come out of nowhere, especially that first year, especially those first milestones and those first moments of realizing that they're not there. Like for me, just walking into the children's clothing at Walmart or different shops, like instant tears, or walking into the library for the first time to read a book with my older child, and then realizing, oh, I don't have my youngest one there anymore. Like, there are times that, still take my breath away. But God is so good, and He's so faithful. And His heart is that we would be so full, so filled with His love that it can overcome the shadow of the darkness, of the grief, of the tears. It doesn't mean like it's gonna go away. For some people, maybe it does, but those waves of grief, when they happen, especially when they happen hard, like they just did for me on Thanksgiving, just God's peace and His love can consume you. It can overwhelm you in such a beautiful way. And I just want to encourage you, like, in those moments, desperate moments, or moments of just like severe heartache, like, look to the Lord. Look to him in prayer. Put on worship music if you need to. Open up the word of God. Scriptures are so full of just the love of God and promises of God and just beautiful reminders of God. He's near to the brokenhearted. And Romans 8:28, he works all things together for his good. And though you may not see it now, God is already on the move. He's already working. He's already turning things to his good. And though there is heartache, though there is grief, there is a bigger picture ahead. And, the loss of your loved one, of your friend, of your coworker, of your neighbor, like those things are not to keep you, behind and, like stuck, but to just draw you closer to the Lord and to move you forward. And God turns all things together for his good. And there's beauty. There's something beautiful out of the ashes that will come. And, Ephesians, I think it's 4:20. I was talking to a coworker about this today, but just how, just the things that we picture and we imagine, like God has plans that are so much greater than we could ever imagine or ask or, thank him for. The plans and purposes he has for our lives are incredible. But but to see the beauty in our lives, a lot of times you have to walk through the heartache. A lot of times you have to walk through the devastation to know just how good the Father's love is for us. And for those who are in Christ Jesus, we know that there is a hope, that our loved ones, that our dear ones, that our friends are in heaven, that they're in heaven. They are happy. They are whole. They are made, there's no pain. There's no tears. They are made beautiful. They are singing with the angels. Like there's so much goodness in that, and we can rejoice in that. But that doesn't mean that we don't still grieve. And I know that. I get that. But in those moments of grief, that's where I try to keep my eyes at. Is just remembering like God's promises and his word, just where those loved ones are. And so I just kind of want to share a little bit of story tonight. And for those of you who have been following along on our journey on this YouTube channel, you probably know it. But for those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, about this time 6 years ago, we were walking through a cancer diagnosis with our youngest son. And he was not quite 2 years old. And it was, of course, some of the most devastating news anybody can hear. And we didn't know how much time we had with him, if he would overcome the cancer or, what would happen. But during that journey, we watched God move in such incredible and mighty ways. And our son, he fought really hard. He fought so hard for 10 months. And at 2 years of age, a little bit before his third birthday is when he had passed. And I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what books you read. It doesn't matter, even like watching friends and family go through grief. It hits you in a different way. It really does when it's like somebody that somebody that is so close to you as a child, as a parent, as an aunt, uncle, or grandma, or maybe that best friend, or there's just something that I wasn't expecting, something that I didn't know that my heart could hurt as much as it did. And it's, I still have moments of just such great heartache and it, it takes everything in me to pull out of it, because in those moments, like all I can do is just cry, is just weep. I mean, like the heavy, hard crying. But it takes strength and courage. It takes a lot of courage to say, God, I cannot do this, but I know you can lift me up out of my bed. I know that you can, take me up off of the couch. I know that you can lift my spirits and allow me to focus on you, my eyes to be on you. Lord, I pray and ask for your peace in this moment. Lord, I ask that your love would surround me. Lord, I just ask that you would help me to know, that you would keep me, that you would keep my eyes on you, that you would help me to know that you are for me, that you are here with me, that you've not forgotten me. Lord, that you are all that I need in these moments. And God is so good. He is so faithful. He is so good every time. Every time I've had those grieving moments, those heartache moments, God has been so good. And not only that, a lot of times he sends somebody, whether it's my son, Liam, or my husband, or a friend, he will send somebody, or he'll place it on somebody's heart to send a text message or a message, or I'll receive a card in the mail. Those things that may seem so little, but they're actually so big because they're right on time and they're right when I need them. And so, just after the loss of our son, just those waves of grief, I did not know how hard those would be. And I didn't know how frequent those would be. It was just so hard to breathe and catch your breath. And it was like every way I looked, whether it was the library or at the store or at the school, like everywhere I looked, just another wave and another wave. But I promise you, if you're new to this, those waves do become farther in between. I don't know if they ever stop because I'm, going on just beginning my 6th year from all of this, from the beginning of our diagnosis. So just over 5 years from the loss of our little one. But, God is so good. He is so good. And so just some things that have really helped us, that is actually what stirred this episode, is just what can you do for someone who is grieving this holiday season, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas or Valentine's or anniversaries, birthdays, like what can you do? And I can tell you from just my personal experience, my life experience, that some of the best things you can give is they don't cost. They don't cost. And that's, sending a text message to that friend, to that coworker, to that loved one, on the anniversaries, on the birthdays, during the holiday season. Hey, I just want you to know I'm thinking about you. We love you. We're celebrating with you. For the birthday, I have my brother. I have a twin brother and my sister-in-law, and they send me messages. They're always in different states because he's in the military. But they're always sending me messages for Levi's birthday. In a picture, they're always drinking root beer, and they have T-shirts that we had made that say Mighty Levi, and they're just always celebrating him. And those things bring a smile to my face. We've received similar text messages from Levi's hospice team, and those photos I still cherish to this day. Cards. I mean, you can make a homemade card, or you can buy a box of cards for super cheap. You don't have to get something so expensive unless you want to. Something that, if you're not a good writer, maybe do look for that great Hallmark card. But a card, I can't tell you how many cards we received during that season of cancer, but also afterwards. Hundreds of cards, and I still have them, and I like to look at them. And especially our son passed in October, and then his birthday is in December 17th, and then Christmas is right after that. We have received so many cards. Every year we receive a card, at least a card, and it just means so much. Some other things that you can do is just, make a meal. If you have somebody, especially if they have just lost a loved one, a meal is one of the biggest things you can do, whether it's freezer meal planning or maybe a gift card, or saying, hey, I'm going to bring you some, Monocle's pizza, or I don't know, whatever pizza places are by you, Casey's Pizzas, but just bringing a meal, bringing that big old dish of mastacholi pasta. That's one of my T-ball coaches that I had the pleasure of coaching with. I hadn't known her long, and when we were going through our season and just before Levi passed, she brought a big old thing for everyone who was there to visit us, all the family that came in to love on us, because we knew Levi was, not doing well. And that, I still cherish that memory, those moments to this day. Those still mean just as much to me now as they did then, So sending cards, sending text message, writing a letter, making a phone call. If somebody's on your heart, one of the best things you can do is just call them. Say, hey, I just want you to know I'm thinking about you. Hey, I'm here for you. Be in that listening ear, even if the phone is silent because you don't know what to say. Just be in there. If you cannot be in there in person, just be in there. Another thing is just taking them out for a meal or for coffee. Just pouring out love. It does not have to be expensive, but it could be. If that's, if you want to buy them a beautiful gift, that is okay too. I just wanted to share some of my treasures that have meant a lot. We actually got this during our journey, not after, but there's things that you can have almost anything made online, but somebody, I don't know how well you can see it, had this made, and it says watching over Levi. I had another friend that gifted me a necklace that is Levi's writing, and that is one of my favorite necklaces. Up until recently, that is the only thing I've worn since I had received it, and so I'm starting to branch out into a little bit more. Today I have like a little cross on, but that is still my absolute favorite. Another awesome, amazing little thing was, I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of hard to see, but it is my son's picture, and it says Mighty Levi. And it's just a crystal thing that was ordered off Amazon from somebody who at the time I didn't know. I hadn't met them. But later on I did. They're from Louisiana. I'm from Illinois. But I met them through mutual friends. And just little things like that like these items are photo items, but whether it's like a scrapbook or taking photos, like if they're posting photos online of a journey that they're going through, like a cancer diagnosis or anything else, like I don't know, just those memories are treasures. And if I can speak for on my own behalf, and I think for many, like as I've been asking friends and family who have lost loved ones, like one of the biggest things is we just want to know that our loved one's memory is still carrying on. Those are treasures, they are such a treasure to us. But to know that they are not forgotten, to know that they are thought of, to know that they are loved, that is what most everyone just truly desires. And so anytime you send that text message, you write that card, you post that letter in the mail, you give that person a call, you give them of your time, whether it's making a meal or taking them out to coffee, you are letting them know, hey, I see you. I'm here for you. I may not know what you're going through, and maybe you do. Maybe you completely understand what they're going through. But just to have somebody there who's there, that's what means a lot. And so just a final thing I wanted to share about this is ornaments. So especially during the holiday season, ornaments are such a blessing. Like I said, our son Levi, his birthday's in December 17th, and then Christmas is right after. So we had received, I think it was about 17 ornaments that first year. Just absolutely incredible. And we even received them in February and March, and we still receive them here and there throughout the years, just different ornaments from people. But you can have something that's made with the picture and maybe their dates on it, like their birthday and things like that. You can order ornaments that look like them. We had a friend that gifted one that was a Paw Patrol. We have another one that's a train because he was 2, and those are things that he loved. You can make an ornament. So this is actually something I did the very first year for everyone in the family, was create an ornament in honor of Levi. And so maybe this will give you an idea. You can get stuff from Hobby Lobby, Walmart, Michael's, any of your craft stores. Sorry, there's a little bit of a glare on this, but it has Levi's picture, and I did black and white. I had cut out a 4x6 picture, and a little bit smaller than this. I had to fold it just to put it in, and I put a little bit of hot glue in the bottom of this. I think I actually put on the photo and then stuck it in. And then I just put things from the funeral, that like flowers in there. It has Levi's name. There's silver and gold because those were some of his colors. Levi's favorite color is green, gold for childhood cancer awareness. There's this adorable little dinosaur. I hope you guys can see this well, but this is a treasure. And so this is something that I actually love making for friends and family who lose a loved one. I love to make them ornaments and just to let them know, hey, I know this is your first holiday without them, but just want you to know that I'm thinking about you, and that, their memory is, it goes on, and they are not forgotten. And so I just really hope that those tips just really encourage you, that like I said, it doesn't matter if somebody just lost a loved one, if it was 5 years ago, if it was 10 years ago, if it was 20 years ago. If you know someone who's lost a loved one, reach out to them. It's not too late. There's still time. Even in the new year, reach out to them. Let them know, hey, I'm thinking about you. When the birthdays come around, things like that, like send a message, whether it's through Instagram or Facebook. Like, those things are so important. And I'm telling you, they will be blessed. They will be blessed. And you will be blessed because just the joy that you're going to bring to them, just the love that they're going to receive because of what, just you taking the time to send that message or to send that gift. It's going to mean so much to them, and so it's going to bless you too. I really hope that this has encouraged you just to find something and find someone that is on your heart that you can gift something beautiful to. And if you are, grieving a loved one, I would love to hear their story. I'd love to hear a memory. There's a community of support here. If you're needing somebody to pray for you, if you just, I know when I read different stories or watch them on YouTube, like I love to come, I love to share my story. I love to share my journey with our son. And if that's you, just leave a comment below. I would love to just read it and just to be able to pray for you and just a comment. Just thank you so much for watching. My heart and prayers go out to everyone who's lost a loved one and who is grieving. And, God's heart, the Father's heart is not that you would stay there, but just that you would be an overcomer. And He wants to bring you peace and love and grace this holiday season. And maybe it is through these little gifts, these treasures of just somebody letting you know that they care and that they're there for you and that they love you and, that they're ready to listen when you want to speak. So something else that I almost forgot to share is that has meant a lot is that if you, if it's on your heart, you can even make a donation towards a foundation in honor of that person's loved one, whether it's for a food pantry, an animal shelter, maybe a local fire department, police department, just making donations to that hospital that was there for them, or that hospice team. For us, we, even to this day, we still have at least once a year where we receive a card in the mail from St. Jude that says that somebody donated in honor of Levi. And I can't tell you how much that means to us to receive that, to know. And it blesses us so much to know that somebody has taken, their finances or time out of their day just to sow into something that means a great deal to us. And so that's just another idea of something you can do, is just donating in honor of them. Or maybe it's to the local library or the church that they attended. There's so many things that you can do if it's a teenager, maybe to their if they're in sports, to that sports team, or to the school that they attended. I mean, there's so much. And just another really cool story. And maybe this is something that's, someone out there wants to start too. But as I shared, our son Levi, his birthday was in December. And so for that very first birthday, his third birthday, was his first one that he wasn't going to be here with us, is when we started a birthday gift back. So all the birthday gifts that Levi would receive, we had actually posted on our social media page, and just had asked friends and family if they would be willing to give to Toys for Tots or to their local hospital. We had a lot of people on his story following, and I just, just the idea of them giving something, giving back on my child's birthday and on our Levi's birthday in honor of him, a toy for a child. It meant so much to us. And so we've actually kept that tradition up. And so this year is his 5th birthday gift back. Levi will be turning 8 this month. And this year we're actually donating towards hurricane relief. And so if I can get that information plugged in, I will in the description or comments below. But it's been such a blessing. So the gifts that we provide every year, sometimes we, do make it public on social media, on Facebook and things like that, so people can donate towards the hospital where he received treatments at and things like that. But local Toys for Tots and stuff like that. And but we've seen the toys go to St. Jude. We've seen them go to our community. We've seen them go to victims of fire and of tornado. We've seen them go to Kentucky when there's tornado, and now they're going for hurricane relief. And so we've seen just these gifts that our family has gifted, and people in our community go beyond just our group of people that we know, into lives that most of them we will never know. But we actually put a little note on most of the items that we gift that just kind of share our story and about Levi. And so I believe it says something like seeds that are planted, and then we just share our story. And so when these kids and youth receive these gifts, a lot of times it shows, just Levi's memories being carried on. And so that's just another idea. Especially if you have a child or even an adult, it really doesn't matter the age. You can do just even with your local family. Last year, we didn't publicize Levi's gift pack. We just, as a family, had gotten gifts and then distributed them to kids in need in our community. And so that's just something that means a lot to us. And maybe it's something for someone else to try. And but I do hope that that there's so many ideas out there. But I hope that this just helps you out with that. And as always, just thank you so much for listening. And until next time, God bless.